Hey, welcome back. Hope everybody is having a great Thursday, and thank you so much for joining me talking all things Masters of the Universe. Today on the channel, guys, for now, I'm going to show you my final piece to my collection of the Masters of the Universe, which was the online Walmart exclusive RattleSnake mountain ring. We're taking a look at the ring and the packaging, the two figures they come with, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin once again, and we'll compare this Steve Austin to his single card version. And for the one time only, and only time in this universe, we have a Hulk Hogan figure finally in this universe. So we'll take a look at him as well. All right, of course we'll compare this ring to the Grayskull ring that came out, and have a lot of fun. All right, now of course if you are new to my channel or first time watching, I hope you will subscribe afterwards. I hope everyone hits that like button, and thank you so much for doing that. Of course, it helps my channel out there. So when hitting that like button, thank you guys for doing that. And hit that notification bell when you know I upload new videos. And please share this video who has a passion and a love for collecting all brands of Masters of the Universe. Without further ado, let's take a look at the RattleSnake mountain ring. Okay, so here we go. So of course, really cool artwork right there. You got the WWE Masters of the Universe logo right there, the RattleSnake mountain ring, the Stone Cold stomping ground. And these similar, kind of reminds me of the old school classic snakes from the Snake Mountain right there. Highly ritual power posing. And there's a Hogan right there taking on Stone Cold. And you've got, two iconic wrestling figures here. One who dominated in the 80s with Hogan right here, and one who dominated in the 90s with the Attitude Era with Stone Cold right here. Really cool. I love the snakes around the ring right there. And like I said before, this is the most expensive item to collect, and if you can find it fully complete with the figures included, it's going to run you at least, when I got this, at least a couple $100s, because I believe it was because how rare it was, because this was an online exclusive Walmart purchase, because how the Grayskull ring didn't do so good. It was, for the most part, the Grayskull ring, which I will show you in a minute to do some comparisons. But for that, we'll look at the here's Stone Cold right there. He's got that that King Hisk vibes right there with the snake hands right there. Looks really, really cool. And there's the old Hogan, representing, I guess, in a way, like another Hogan, or another He-Man. It's got that He-Man, that's battle armored H right there, but this is not battle armored armor. It's just Hogan with a armored chest plate, but there is no damage plates to put on this version of Hogan. But there he is. Like I said, the one and only time that we received this Hogan in this universe. Alright, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin. And there's Hogan. That's what the ring looks like, fully assembled. Right there. Great, beautiful artwork, amazing. Alright, back at the top here, it's just another glamour shot of the two figures doing battle inside the ring. Alright. Back around here. There's all the items they come with the battle axe right there. It's, similar we see with all He-Man figures. And there's Stone Cold with his snake hands right there, getting that King Hiss vibes. And also, what I also get? I'm getting like the Terror Claw vibes too when I look at this Stone Cold Steve. And I love the eyes right there, the red eyes of the snake right there, Stone Cold. Fully posable, like we see with all the Origins figures. There's old Stone Cold once again. Alright. Now let's compare this version of the Snake Mountain ring to the Grayskull ring real fast. It's pretty much a mirrored image from both, so I'll put the Grayskull ring right here. Get it a little bit over here. I'll bring over the Grayskull ring. There you go. So there's both versions right there of both rings that came out in this universe. All right. So the question is, why is this ring, so expensive, compared to this ring here? Now, I heard a rumor it's because the fact that this ring was a major shelf warmer. It stayed on the shelves for a long time at Walmart. And so, so when it came to this ring, you know, I guess Mattel decided to do an online, you know, maybe it was an exclusive or just a very limited run of this particular ring, and I don't know if it sold out or, you know, it just didn't, you know, maybe at the time, you know, if you are a collector of this universe and maybe you have, you know, a better understanding of why this ring is more expensive, maybe because the two figures were included with Hogan and Stone Cold. But I heard is the fact that this ring here didn't sell as well. So when it came to this ring, you know, it was an online exclusive, and it's in a very limited run. And it was, I think, maybe I think I could be wrong, that this was coming near the end of the cycle of the entire universe of the Master of the WWE universe. So it was very rare to find, and so to find it, you have to pay, you know, that extra money if you want it in your collection. Nowadays, I'm sure, you know, at the time when it did come out, it was probably the same price as this ring right here, but to get it fully complete with the figures and everything, it's going to cost you a little extra cash. So I think that's why. But let me show you the back. So there's the ring right there to compare it to the Grayskull ring. All right. So yeah, I mean, so with the two iconic characters, with Stone Cold and Hogan right there included, like I said, the first time and only time we got Hogan in this universe, in that battle armored look. But even though it has that battle armored look with that big old H on his chest right there, it's not a battle armored chest. You cannot, you know, pop off the plate, you know, and show damage, which I think would have been a nice touch with this Hogan right here. So even though this got that battle armored feel to it with Hogan here, it's not battle armored like He-Man or, you know, or Hogan, or battle armored Hulk Hogan. Of course, you can see my helmet is coming off, but it's still fine. It's still good. There's Stone Cold. And speaking of Stone Cold, I did bring out my single-carded version of Stone Cold. Put it next to him right there. So there's the single-carded version of Stone Cold. And there's some slight differences between this Stone Cold, of course, and this version. Of course, the name on this right here, on his vest, says Austin right there, where this one does not. It says Bionic right there. This one has that really cool, iconic red cross, right? I mean, skull. Forgive me. Sorry, guys. And 316. I believe this one does not. There's no skull right there, but there's something right now, right there on it. I can't read it, but it might be a snake right there. And I also believe that the eyes are very different too. So this one has that red and yellow snake eyes right there, where this one has his normal look right there. Of course, this one is more representing of Trap Jaw in this universe, where this one is more of the King Hiss version. Look. Speaking of the Snake Man, as we know, the Snake Men are very heavily in right now in the Origins line. Now the Turtles of Grayskull line, we're still waiting on that Serpent's Lair to come out. So if you are a big fan of the Snake Men line, you know, you got even Jake the Snake Roberts in this universe, had that King Hiss feel. This version of Stone Cold here, you wish to add it to your Snake Men collection if you want to get this line. Or this ring here, like I said, it will cost you a little extra cash if you want it. You know, at the time, you know, if you want to get this, if you want to add him to your Snake Men collection. And, you know, another person I would think would have been good if this line would have continued would have been Randy Orton, you know, as the Viper, as another member of the Snake Men universe in this particular universe. I think that would have been a cool thing. And having maybe like similar armor, like, or I mean, arms here for Randy Orton, but maybe green or yellow for the, you know, with Viper snake arms like Stone Cold here. Alright. But there you go, guys. And like I said, like, all the figures here are Origins-based figures here. You know, the Granddaddy, the one, you know, in a way for me, started, you know, the whole Origins line, you know, in a way, you know, painted the way to the Master Universe Origins, to the Cartoon Collection, to Turtles of Grayskull, and so forth and so on. And of course, if you're a big wrestling fan, this line started the whole Superstars line, you know. But I gotta say one thing, you know, so we're coming to the end, and so I have, you know, as of filming this, I finally purchased my final item for this collection, And that item was, there was one more ring that was created for this universe. It was a single ring itself with no figures. It's another Grayskull ring, basically, with no figures included. It's the ring itself, and it cost me like $15 off of eBay. It's very, very easy to obtain. There's plenty of them online to collect at a very reasonable price, and I pulled the trigger and I got it today, and it should be here within the week or so. And of course, definitely I'll come back and do a very quick review of that particular ring. You know, nothing too crazy. And of course, you know, knowing if you know my channel, you know, I always like to revisit and relook at these amazing figures once again. And I'm sure, and I know down the road we'll do another look at these amazing figures on the channel. You know, do some of my top best figures of this particular universe, some of my worst, you know. But I gotta say, you know, when doing this review, or these reviews on this particular universe on my channel, I gotta say one thing, you know, for me personally, and there's nothing wrong with this particular universe, I felt like it's more targeted to the wrestling collectors, and not the He-Man collectors, because there's no He-Man in this universe. I think I mentioned this before in one of my reviews on this universe. There's no He-Man or Skeletor or Teela, you know, or anybody, Man-at-Arms in this particular universe, crossed over with these wrestling figures. It's basically wrestling figures in their own Eternia world with He-Man-esque armor and weapons. If you take the armor away, the weapons away, for the most part, you have, you know, like Superstars, you know, 1.0, you know. So, I mean, which is the Superstars line. You have pure wrestling figures. So, if you, like I said, if you take all the armor away, all the weapons away from the Master of the Universe, you know, brand, what you have is just pure wrestling figures. So, for me personally, you know, which is nothing wrong with that. I love wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. You know, but I prefer He-Man, you know, over wrestling. I'm sorry. So yeah, so I think that was, you know, so I was hoping, I was wishing when I was doing this review and when I was collecting this line, you know, and I was thinking about it too when I was reviewing it, and like, you know, there's no He-Man in this universe. There's no Teela. There's no Man-at-Arms. No actual Skeletor, you know. And, you know, they could have done some really cool, crazy things with these figures, and as far as He-Man was concerned, you know, different types of items or armor or something different, something unique with this line. With if they would have included, you know, the He-Man and the Master Universe figures in this universe with the wrestling figures, you know, they could have come up with some great, you know, unique items or, you know, or figures in that world, in this world here, but they didn't. So I think that's kind of a letdown. You know, I really wish they could have done that, you know, in this universe. Let me know in the comments below, you know, your thoughts and feelings. You know, this is still a great brand. Don't get me wrong. This is an amazing brand, and I love it. And I love the, you know, like, maybe it's a tribute to the He-Man line. Of course, I mean, it is. It is a tribute to the He-Man line with the armor and the weapons and the look, you know, and everything, you know, and I like it. And there's some figures here in this universe, like I said, that I really enjoyed, and I thought it was really unique and very clever how they did it in this universe, you know. And you know, later and we'll do a revisit of this line. I'm gonna give you some of my top 5 favorite figures of this universe and some of my top 5 worst figures in this universe, you know. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts and feelings, you know, of this particular universe. And, you know, did you collect this line once again? Was it a hard pass? Did you collect only certain figures in this universe to add to your He-Man line? Or if you're, you know, I mean, maybe you just maybe collected for a pure wrestling, you know, fandom, you know. Every figure had a great look to it. You know, I love there's Triple H's looks great. John Cena looks amazing. Hogan looks great as well, and you got Stone Cold. I mean, and I think this line could have gone longer, you know. I think this line could have gone, you know, a lot longer than it did. You know, like I said, you know, like having a, you know, a Randy Orton, you know, Viper, you know, Snake Man Origins figure would have been awesome to have in the collection. But there you go, guys. There's the look at my final piece of my collection of the Master of the Universe. Like I said, this was extremely, extremely easy to collect. At the time when I did it, I had no trouble at all collecting this entire wave at a reasonable price, you know, from eBay's collectors or sellers. And a lot of them, like I said, when I showed interest, you know, on eBay, when I hit that little heart button, a lot of these sellers at the time were giving me some amazing discounts, you know, of these figures. I mean, 35–40% off discounts. So I was very surprised and in fact, right here, what you're seeing here with the Grayskull ring right here was my very first purchase of this universe. Thanks to my good friend Dennis at TRG Toys and Collectibles. Now there's two, and the other one's sold out. They're sold, but this is my first purchase right here. And then until today, this was my last purchase of this universe, which is kind of funny. And then until I got that third ring today. But this was for now, this was, I mean, at the time, this was my last purchase. So you got my last purchase here with the Snake Mountain ring to my very first purchase, which is the Grayskull ring. So it kind of came like full circle, like all the rings, basically. Alright, but there you go, guys. There's a look of the complete version of the Masters of the WWE Universe. And you know, I gotta say, I do like the fact that they picked two iconic Hall of Famers, legends of the wrestling world. You know, Hogan, like I said, representing the 80s line. You know, I mean, you can say, in a way, and he kind of dominated in the 90s as well, in a very short way, at WCW as Hollywood Hogan. And we got that version of Hollywood Hogan in the Superstars line. And then, of course, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, an icon in the 90s. Who just dominated, you know, the world of the WWE Universe with Stone Cold right here. And before we leave, of course, all Origins figures are all interchangeable. They stay in that 5.5 scale. You can pop the head off, you can pop the arms off, pop it from the waist. You can, you know, if you are a big fan of this universe, or Master Universe in Origins, or Turtles of Grayskull, or the Cartoon Collection, or Superstars line, every Origins figure in the line is fully interchangeable. You can come up with some great figures, some very crazy and really cool figures in your collection. Alright. Fully articulated. Alright. But there you go. There is the look, finally. My final piece of my collection until, of course, that secondary Grayskull ring that's coming out that I should get very soon on the channel. Alright, guys, I'd like to take time now, of course, to thank my subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. It's been a lot of fun. You know, going back and looking at these figures here. And like I said, I will revisit this line once again. You know, alright, of course, I hope you hit that notification bell when you know I upload new videos. And tomorrow we'll look at some more Master Universe, another item I'm thinking about doing. It's something I want to do. And looking at, with the finally, and with the getting Panther finally in the Masters line, something that I feel, and maybe you feel the same way, that is long overdue in the Masters line, is finally getting another cat or another ride or another beast. You know, the first one we got in Masters, of course, was Battle Cat, but part of Wave 1. Here it is now, what, Wave 15 now? And who knows when Panther is going to be coming to us as collectors. I mean, he was just announced and just shown off in San Diego Comic-Con, and finally, I'm so excited for that. So I might show you like every version of the of Battle Cat and Panther and whatever animal or cat we have in my collection. All right, so I might do that tomorrow. So I hope you guys would join me for that. All right, guys. Hope you guys, of course, have a great Thursday, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Take care, and have a good one, everybody.